So, just a couple days ago, as of recording, version 1.08.01 dropped the patch along with Heihachi and made a pretty significant change to Asuka's down forward 3. It's a pretty unassuming change, and there have been some questions about it and how to do the new forward 4 combo that it enables. So I want to talk quickly about what this change really means for Asuka, and I want to give some advice on the new forward 4 combo, because it's really good, but it's kind of tricky. I'm going to try to do this video mostly unscripted, so hopefully it's easy enough to follow. To start with, the change to down forward 3 was a hitbox adjustment. Specifically, the patch says, the hitbox has been expanded to make it less likely to whiff against opponents in a downed state. If you don't play Asuka, or if you're new to this character, this probably doesn't seem that interesting, but calling it a behavior change or a hitbox expansion is really underselling how massive of a difference this makes for this character. The important thing is that this move was before never used for hitting players on the ground because of the quirky hitbox that it's always had. Although this is something that a lot of Asuka players have been complaining about for years, because it kind of seems like it should work as one because she just kicks someone when they're on the ground. But since basically the inception of this move, down forward 3 would whiff on certain knockdowns and axes. Like if the opponent was face down, feet towards, this would just not connect, it would just whiff. So it just wasn't viable as a grounded hitting tool, so it wasn't using that. It was only really used as a grounded hitting mid for mini combos and some Oki situations where it was consistent. Using down forward 3 as a grounded hitting tool before, it was like using down 1+2 to hit grounded. It technically does have the grounded hitting property, but it just wasn't what it was used for. So the down forward 3 change in this patch basically gives Asuka a brand new move. That's what I'm leading up to. So down forward 3 is a straight up steel pedal now. Let me put this guy on the ground just to demonstrate. Take a look at that. It just works. And it's relatively fast for what it's for, hitting grounded. It's 20 frames, and it has a lot of reach and no risk. It's only -8 on block. So this completely changes how Asuka is going to interact with players who are staying on the ground. Before, she had to commit to forward 2 for big damage, forward 2 or forward 3+4 for the high reward. And these moves had their pros and cons. Forward 2, it was fast, or well, it is still fast, obviously. Forward 2 is fast, but it's super unsafe on block. And forward 3+4 is safe, but is really, really slow. But now, she can use down forward 3. Down forward 3 deals a lot of damage. It deals more damage than forward 2. And it's completely reliable. It's super quick, it's got a lot of reach, and it just works. Asuka's gonna kick you around like never before if you dare to stay on the ground. She has really good frames afterwards too, so she's got a really good Oki after this as well. This is a completely new utility and an enormous buff to Asuka's Oki. She's gonna be even more of a menace now whenever she gets a knockdown. She can even do this now after, reliably, after down 1+2. If you do a dash into it, that works now. And you might still go for forward 2-1 there for the gusto, but, you can go for that for the extra damage if you don't need it. It's pretty awesome. So this is a huge and unexpected W for Asuka in this patch. As for the new forward 4 combo, the improved hitbox of down forward 3 has some implications for some fringe combos and situations, but the big one is that down forward 3 is now a consistent pickup after forward 4. Before, you had to do dash 1+4 to do the pickup, and for some reason I've been having a really hard time pulling this off. I'm having the YouTube curse, but yeah, before you had to do that, and the combo I will show you successfully. Does about 57 damage. Well, it does 7 damage. Check it. Which is pretty alright, but now you can do down forward 3 to pick up instead of just 1+4 and add a whopping 12 damage to this launch. But it's kind of tricky. This is the combo that I found just a few hours after the patch dropped, and I will try to do it now without talking because it is hard. That's 69 damage. That's a really respectable combo from a plus on block homing high with like a lot of range and like only 18 frames and all that. It's crazy. So you got forward 4, micro dash, down forward 3, micro dash, 1+4, down back 1-4, side step right, forward forward 4, and then forward forward 2, 1+2, except you don't with it. You might see Asuka's using forward 4 a lot more now, once the down forward 3 pickup catches on, because this is so rewarding. The combo is really tricky though, so I'm going to tell you how to get it to work without dropping the tornado in particular. And I'll show you a couple of other combos that we found that are a little bit easier. So the trick with the down forward 3 pickup is that you need a little bit of forward movement for the down forward 3 to connect. Some Asukas have said that you only need to hold forward for a moment for the down forward 3 to connect, but I really think that you should be doing a micro dash like you normally would for the 1+4 pickup, because it helps a lot with the consistency. Like a good one, kind of like that. The forward movement is really helpful for the consistency of any version of this combo that I'm going to show you. The trick with the 1+4 filler afterwards is also to do a micro dash. You need a little bit of forward movement for this to connect. If you just do it raw, it won't. It'll just drop. So from the down forward 3 as well, you have to buffer a dash for the 1+4. In order for the down back 1-4 to connect, you need a pretty deep micro dash going into the 1+4. Otherwise, down back 1 will drop. If I can get there. Or rather, the second hit of down back 1-4 will drop, as you saw. So, in order for that to work, the down back 1-4, you need to get a pretty deep micro dash with 1+4. Visually, you need to be able to visually see that Asuka moved forward quite a bit. Like, that's not gonna work, yep. That won't work, yep. But that will. The sidestep right is important because otherwise that combo ender that I just did will drop. So after the tornado, you have to do a sidestep right, but then the combo will work just fine. For the ender, after I do the tornado into the forward forward 4 tailspin, you can do forward forward 2, 1+2 like I've been doing for max damage and a gusto install. Or you can replace it with forward forward 2, 1. Missing my buttons. All right, forward forward 2, 1 for 1 less damage and Oki frames. See if I can demonstrate. Yeah. So forward forward 2, 1, in case you didn't know, has a surprising amount of frames for you to play with. So if you want to do Oki, that's what you need to do, because forward forward 2, 3 will not work because of the axis and the pushback. Alternatively, you can use 2-1-2 for your tornado instead. This will always work and doesn't require a deep micro dash between either your down forward 3 or the 1+4. As long as you can get the 1+4 to hit, 2-1-2 will work. Like so. So this is way more lenient because it doesn't require the super precise deep micro dashes, and you also don't have to do a sidestep right after the tornado for that ender to work. For your enders, you can do after the tornado forward forward 4 into a dash forward 2 like I just did for a gusto install, Or you can do a forward forward 4 into dash down forward 3 for Oki frames. It does the same damage either way. I'll demonstrate the latter. Yeah. Shabam. So the downside of this is that you get less damage because you got more hits that are weaker earlier in the combo, and your enders are quite a bit limited. You can't do forward forward 2 1+2 with this because the combo has too many hits, which is why you gotta do like the forward 2 or down forward 3 ender. If you're determined to go for the down back 1-4 route, you can easily just attempt the micro dash 1+4 and visually confirm it. Like I mentioned earlier, you need to visually confirm the deep micro dash. But if you don't see that good micro dash, then you can just commit to the 2-1-2 instead. So you can fish for the down back 1-4 route for the big damage, but even if you mess up the micro dash, you can still salvage it with 2-1-2 as long as the 1+4 hit. For one more alternate combo that still does good damage and is still pretty lenient, after 1+4, you can do a forward forward 1+2 for your tornado. This is still tricky. You're going to need to practice a pretty tight dash command, but it does work pretty well, and it's not that hard with some practice. And it still does good damage. It's right in between the 2-1-2 and the down back 1-4 in terms of damage. And you get all the same options that you do after down back 1+4, in addition to being able to do forward forward 2-3 as an ender. So you've got that as an option for Oki, which is very cool. So for this, the forward forward 1+2 tornado, you don't need to do a deep micro dash, and you don't need to do a sidestep after your tornado. So this is probably what I would recommend in general, since it's the easiest combo to do after forward 4, I think, with the down forward 3 pickup. And that's it. Give it a shot and pass this video along to anyone who has any questions about the down forward 3 changes or the new forward 4 combo. Have a happy Asuka-ing and spam the shit out of these moves.